It was 10 p.m. at night, and I forgot to bring my bag home since my class was in a big rush to get home that day for some reason. My dad was none too happy and demanded me to go back to school and get my bag since he was paranoid and feared it would go missing. I was annoyed with him for telling me to do such a thing at a late hour, but he didn't care. He forced me into the car and drove me to my school. When we got there, my dad told me to get out and be quick about it. I immediately got out, rushing myself into the gates, and before you ask, yes, our gates were always left open for some odd reason. So anyways, I looked to see if any of the doors were open, but no luck. They have all been locked, so it looked as though I'd have no luck getting in. But then from the corner of my eye, I saw one of the doors that seemed to have been left wide open. I took this as an opportunity to go in since I didn't want my dad staying mad at me all night for losing my stuff that he paid for. I walked into the school and got a weird cold feeling. I guess we'd all get that feeling if we were in our school, alone at night, in complete silence, so it wasn't much of a deal to me. I walked upstairs, heading to my classroom, when suddenly I heard something crash downstairs. I was frozen at this point. Who else could be here so late? I thought to myself as I tried to step up the stairs slowly so that I wouldn't make noises that could be heard by whoever was down there. I finally made it to my class, but it was too dark to see anything. I wanted to turn the lights on, but I remembered the crashing sound downstairs. So naturally, I was reluctant to turn on the classroom lights, and I had to inch across the room trying to avoid every object I could remember off the top of my head. I made it to my seat and found my bag hanging off the edge of the chair. I picked it up and turned around to get back to my dad's car, but then that's when I saw a tall man standing by the door. The man had an imposing size. He must have been about 6'4" or 5. "Who are you?" I asked the man. The man gave no response or even bothered to turn the lights on. I tried walking to the side to try to give him a signal that I needed to leave, but he made no movement at all. He just kept staring at me. "Do you work here?" I then asked the man. It took more than 10 seconds until he finally answered me saying,
No.
My heart was now thumping heavily as them words scattered my ears. "Then why are you here?" I continued to question the man. Without saying anything, he proceeded to close the door and walked up to me. At this point, I didn't want to move because I was afraid he had a weapon and he was going to stab or shoot me with that. Before the man got too close to me, I heard my dad beeping his car horn, giving me a signal to come out or that I was taking too long. If only my dad was here, I thought. The man stopped at his track and calmly asked,
Is that your dad?
I didn't know why he wanted to know that, but I rashly replied, yes. The man walked up to the windows and looked at my dad's car parked next to the school. In that moment, I ran out of the room, shutting the door behind me, not looking back. I heard the door slam as I ran down the stairs, heading for the exit door, but before I could make it, I felt a hand grab the back of my shirt, pulling me back. I screamed in terror as the man tried to strangle me against the wall. I thought I was done for at this point, but then my dad heard me and came running in. "Let go of my son, you bastard!" shouted my dad as he tackled the guy onto the floor. My dad threw punches on his face as I stood there and watched in horror. The man grabbed my dad's arm and smashed it against the wall as he tried to get his knife to stab him. I knew my dad wasn't going to win in a fight against a man of that size, so I grabbed the fire extinguisher next to me almost instinctively and I whacked it on the guy's head. The man fell down in pain but then got back up and ran away. My dad grabbed my hand, pulling me to the car. He didn't take one look back or even asked if he was following us when we drove home. My dad called the police when we got home. They came by the house to talk to us and asked us to describe the man in detail. The next day, the police went to the school to investigate the scene. They told us they found a knife on the floor. I told them it was the knife the man was going to kill me and my dad with. Unfortunately, the investigation didn't lead to an arrest. I am now 14 years old and still kicking, but the experience was scary as hell when I was 11.